Hey guys, Justin Lobato here, and we're here in Autogeek Show Car Garage with our guest, Jeff McEachran. He is North American Gyeon rep, and he's here to talk about a new product that they brought to the industry, which is something you're already familiar with, wax. But this has a completely different chemistry to it, and it has multiple purposes versus just traditional wax, and of course its characteristics. So we'll let Jeff explain, and thank you for coming on in.
Likewise,
because
man.
this stuff, from what you've told me, which you'll tell them, but wow.
Yeah, fantastic product and a new spin on a very traditional way to add gloss and protection to your car. So, you know, Gyeon obviously known globally for ceramic coatings. A staple in the industry, tons of workhorse products. So we took the knowledge, the testing, the background in long-term coatings and built a carnauba wax that has some really special features and some really cool user attributes.
So as far as going into, you know, its application, obviously you could use this as a standalone product and to top your coating.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of a new category to say, because traditionally you wouldn't want to wax over a coating, but this overall will complement the characteristics.
Absolutely, absolutely. It does a couple things, right? So we install these long-term coatings, and we're trying to get these products in a day-to-day life. You know, a vehicle's a tool in your world, and you put it through different environments. So you're trying to get these things to go 3, 4, 5 years, and maintenance and keeping that surface healthy and helping it reject contaminant is a big part of that. There's a lot of ways to do that, and the Q2 Wax is an awesome one for people that like waxing your cars, because a lot of feedback we get is therapeutic, man. Sunday afternoon, ball games in the background of the garage, you're waxing the car. That adds a lot of history behind that process, and it's important to realize that coatings don't necessarily take that away. So this will serve two functions. A, on a freshly coated surface, there's no better way to prevent water spots in the near term, which is the danger of coatings, right? These products have to cure and dry on the surface, and if they encounter contaminant, they can water spot, and they're vulnerable within the first few weeks. Q2 Wax is a great way to keep that from happening. Second to that, it's a great way to keep the hydrophobic properties up, keep the coating repelling, and it's a great standalone wax for people that just like to wax their car and have that as their last stage of protection.
So with this is something that, let's just say after a couple hours of application of a Gyeon coating, you could move forward into putting this right on.
Absolutely.
And this will help in regards to reducing element build, such as water spots.
Absolutely.
And that way it will help keep the coating cosmetically intact, the way you want it to, of course. But this more or less creates almost its own sacrificial layer of film build over the coating to help reduce those kind of issues that you may see just as the coating as a standalone in certain environments, of course.
And that's actually been tucked into the Gyeon coating instruction manuals for years. You know, as the best way to prevent water spots on a fresh coating is a layer of wax. You want a thick layer of oily material to keep that water from engaging with that coating that's trying to release its solvent, which is trying to cure and dry. So that line has been tucked in there long before we actually had a wax in the lineup.
Wow, that's really neat. Now, application process. Now, you know, after you get done coating a vehicle, you just want to step back.
Sure.
Less you touch it, the better kind of scenario. So with this, is it going to be the same process as traditional wax, or are you going to have a different spin to that?
Yeah, a bit of both, right? So back to the packaging, there's a lot that goes into the user experience of the product with the packaging. I think that's something Gyeon has done really well across the line. But this tube is all intentional and all designed to increase the user experience. So the top screws off, little cap there to protect the wax during storage. That comes off, and the bottom here twists just like a giant deodorant stick would, right?
I like that.
So it makes it very easy to apply to the foam applicator, and then the little foam pad is included. So everything you see on the table is included in the kit, right? So the wax itself, very ergonomically designed foam applicator, because we want to still have a precise and even application, right? So you have these corners, you can get into tight areas, you can get under mirrors, you can get around windshield washer fluid, you know,
louvers, all the little tight
real
things,
easily with this. Very soft, very gentle. And then the removal towel, intentional as well. So very tightly knit white version of our bald wipe, so that we're removing excess material and not kind of pushing stuff around.
Gotcha. Now, as far as application, just like any other traditional wax, you want a nice thin, almost transparent, but just enough to see it, of course.
Yep.
You know, less is better.
Absolutely.
And then as far as setup time or cure time to say with this product, how long would you want to let it sit on there, then take it off?
So 25 to 30 minutes after application. And again, you're just kind of letting the product dry, letting it onto the surface, nice thin layer, evenly applied, let it sit for 30 minutes, come back with your removal towel. Removal should be a breeze.
Very nice. And as far as you may have mentioned it, but as a standalone application, what is the rough longevity of what somebody could see out of this as one application?
Yep, you safely say 2 to 6 months, right? This product's all over the planet. Harsher environment, we're gonna see 2, 3 months. A toy car that lives in a garage that's driven Sunday afternoon and parked, 6, 7, 8
Yeah,
months.
plus.
Yeah, so it's a quality carnauba wax, but we've also got the introduction of fluorine to that. So it's going to give you that depth of shine, it's going to give you that warm kind of glow, but it's going to give you the repellency and the rejection of a top tier ceramic coating. So we didn't just simplify and make a high quality wax, we really added some technology into that. The durability's there, the maintenance is there, that rejection's there. It's a really cool product from a company known for coatings. It's cool
And
to
I
see a real
love the
wax.
fact that it complements the existing characteristics. It doesn't change, compromise. And then on top of that, with it being, you know, something that could be used on coatings, you know, people shopping at Autogeek and seeing there's a lot of different things to choose from, this is versatile in being able to go over the majority of coatings that are offered on the market.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is
Any
awesome.
product on the market.
Yeah, especially for those cross-referencing the applications.
Yep.
Now, is this something too, I mean, obviously for paint, but want to get into doing it for the rims, their glass, are those areas that you would recommend, or?
Yeah, I would say, surprisingly enough, plastics. This is the one wax I've ever touched that will not gum up and dry out a plastic.
That's awesome.
So you can put it on trim intentionally if you wish. If you end up getting a little smudge on trim, not the end of the world, removes immediately. But other than that, yep, every exterior surface, glass, I would go something glass dedicated, but paint, trim, wheels, exhaust tips, I mean, anything you like to have an enhanced color, enhanced look, let it rip.
Very nice. So you don't get the white residue.
I know. Couldn't believe it.
That see that right there that's a game changer.
Right.
And that's what most people complain about with waxes or sealants in general because of the carriers that create that. So with this, that's evolutionary.
Yeah,
So-
very proud of this product and excited to see it kind of take off. You know, in a market saturated with coatings, coating this, coating that. Wax is not dead by any means, and this product really gets out of the gate and performs well.
Well, you've seen it. It's Wax Q2 at Autogeek.com. So, Jeff, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. And if you want any further information, of course, visit Autogeek.com or any of our social media platforms. And remember, at Autogeek, beauty is in the details.